Welcome back to the channel. Now if you followed this channel before, you would know this layout's a little bit different than normal. And also, 3 weeks ago I posted a forum post, or a community post on my page. And I was asking people, when I get my next check from YouTube, what should I spend it on? And I gave 4 choices. And those 4 choices were GKD Pixel, I quite like that. MIUI A30, not so keen on that. An Anbernic RG35XX SP, and finally the Neo Pocket Micro. I really want to get one of them. And you've all voted, and you didn't vote for the 2 things I wanted. You voted for the Anbernic RG35XX SP. So here it is. I've got one, and I've been toying about with it for a little while. This is just a kind of initial unboxing and kind of go over the product and where I think it fits in my collection, and my quick review on the quality, because it's something that I don't think a lot of people picked up on. A lot of people seem to have commented on the fact that the buttons are a bit clicky, but that's not the biggest issue from my point of view. Let's just get into unboxing it so you can see. Now, I ordered this particular device from UK What Geek, and as usual, comes quite quick. It takes about 4 or 5 days to ship, and then it's only about another 3 or 4 days after that. And I don't know if this is maybe actually like a Chinese market one. I ordered one, get this thing to focus. I'm using another new bit of kit, so we'll see how that actually pans out, whether I keep that or not. Anyway, this one is it's a silver one, and not much to see on here, to be honest. Let's get the box open. I ordered the 64 gig model with no games, because that was the cheapest one. So here it is. And my plan was, actually, I could have had it with no card, because my plan is to fit this, my little Axe memory card that I just picked up for about, I think it was about £8. It's one of these brands that's kind of mentioned as being pretty good, but I'm not sure where they're a subsidiary of. But I have to say, when it came to write and read speeds, this thing's actually not bad for an A1 card. The original 64 gig card, I cloned that, or took a copy of that, and that copied at about 10 megabits a second. And the Axe one was about 70 when I was writing it back. So you get the device itself. Not much else in the box. It's been shown before by other people. Get some wet wipes, a little screen protector I've not fitted yet, and you get your USB cable in this little boxy here. Stick that over there just now. Slide this out of here. Get a little foam cover just to go on the top, and you know, I have to say, it does look very much like the old SP. But I never had an SP. I had a Game Boy Micro Advance, or a Game Boy Advance Micro, or whatever you want to call it. And I actually got this second hand, a little bit beat up when I got it, but it's held up pretty well over the years. If I can actually get this thing to focus, don't have the best natural light, just because of the time of the evening, and I've just managed to flip that screen around. Again, I am testing a new piece of hardware here, see if I can actually keep it for the channel or not. For overhead, but that's my old Micro. Love that thing, but the buttons on that are absolutely tiny, and it's, well, I struggled to use it when I first bought it over a decade ago, probably 2 decades ago. So let's go to this. One thing I will say is, okay, it does rattle, but it's really just the shoulder buttons that are rattling. The buttons themselves are actually quite nice to use. I've not found any issues with them. I've not charged it yet, not had to charge it at all. I've been using it quite low brightness settings. I've not tried the HDMI out yet, the mini HDMI out, but there's just a few things that I've noticed about it. Obviously, Anbernic, they do make good products. You know, things like the Nano, which I love. Things like the Nano, it's a beautiful little thing. It's constructed really well. There's always like a 1 or maybe 2 flaws with any Anbernic device. The flaw with this is, well, one, nobody really likes if I can get this to focus again, nobody likes the fact there's quite a big gap around the D-pad. And the other one is, the operating system's a little bit jank. I put Funky OS on this, and it's still not great, but it's better than was on there originally. And you can do this for every Anbernic device. There's always one flaw. My RG35XX, no, it's not my 35X, my 556, you know, the translucent blue one, absolute fantastic device. Let down by the material they used for the translucent plastic's a bit slippy. And again, 35XX SP, it just feels a little bit cheap. I don't know why, but it just feels a little bit cheap. And there is some little giveaways. If I can just get these on camera, I'll try and see if I can get this to focus. But Some of the shell fit and finish isn't ideal. If I could just get you to focus, come on. There, oh, I had it there and it's gone back out of focus. And I flipped it again. So some bits of the shell are just, I might be a little bit nitpicky here, to be honest. I didn't really notice it until I started really looking for issues. I'll get closer, I'll get further away. At some point it's going to focus for me. Or maybe not. Just getting the right light. But there is some little flaws in some of the bits of plastic. And there's some more noticeable ones which I'll show you. Well, they're more noticeable to my eye, but I'm not sure this camera's going to pick them up. And what we'll do is we'll flip it open just to see that. Now, in the right light, this side's perfect. This side, I can see there's a kind of a dimple, little moulding marks in it. And it's right where I look, basically. So, could have been anywhere else on the shell, and I probably wouldn't have noticed it so much. I could just move it around a bit. You sometimes see one over here, and there's one there in the corner a bit. Hard to see. Just something to be aware of. It's just minor things, to be honest. I don't mind the clicky buttons. They're really not that bad. I've definitely used worse buttons. They are a bit recessed, a bit flat, because obviously they have to fit down flush. So when the screen's shut, they're not going to smash into the screen. But I have to say, I've been pretty impressed with so far. I'll try and get this in such a way that you can see the screen now. I'm not sure how good this camera is going to be. I've got my screen brightness set to its lowest setting because at its highest setting, it's actually not bad just now, but it does blow out the camera a bit. So we'll bring it back down to its lowest setting. And it's quite easy to get to that lowest setting. You just press the menu button and the up and down arrow key and that changes the brightness. Or you can use the up and down key on the side for volume. So yeah, it's pretty easy to use. I will say, again, everyone else has hinted on this. The front screen interface is a little bit rubbishy looking. I think it could have been done a bit nicer than this. Don't use Game Room. Even though it has a slightly nicer layout, it just slows your games down. You're better just using the RetroArch setup, which looks a little bit cheap, but it does the job. It does the job. And the overlays, because I ordered the 64 gig with no games installed, the overlays weren't applied properly. So when I loaded up some games, like I did a Game Boy Advance game first, because I knew that had a cool overlay. I added the overlay, I hadn't realised that you had to override the core overlays and save that. So then that same overlay was shown on all the other game platforms I was trying. So that was a little bit of work on my part. But I did want to set mine up a little bit differently. I didn't want to use the original 64 gig card and then stick another card in. I wanted to take a 128 gig card and just put that in. So what I've done to do that is I've downloaded the latest firmware from Anbernic's website. I'll put a link in there because it wasn't difficult to find, but you can't just go to Anbernic's website and it's easy to find in the download section. You've got to Google for it first. So I'll put a link in the download in the comment section of the video. So I've just put everything on one card, 128 gig. And I have to say, game-wise, there's no point in reviewing the games, to be honest. Loads of other people have done it already. It's pretty good. But it's just what I wanted to review is the finish. Now I've shown you there's some little flaw bits there with the shell. Biggest flaw here just now is my camera. I can just get this thing to focus. The light's going, so stuck with artificial light, and you can see a little bit there, just in the corner. See that? It's like almost a dimple. I mean, it's probably fractions of a millimetre. But it's right where you can see it. It's kind of annoying. To me anyway. Because the rest of it's actually not that bad. Plastic quality. Feels a bit cheap, but it feels like it's going to last, to be honest. I mean, this is more of a toy console, I would say. I'm not going to buy a case for this. Now, I generally buy a case for all my handhelds. I mean, you've even got a little case for this guy, which is in most of the time. And this just gets put in a little pocket, so it doesn't get too scratched in my pocket. A little plastic sleeve, in fact, it goes in. This, just going to get chucked in my pocket, and I'm actually going to use it quite a bit. I'm going to try and see if it's better to use than my Miyoo Mini. Because I've had the Miyoo Mini for, must be about a year now. And, you know, in its case, the Miyoo Mini definitely takes up more pocket space. Yeah? You could just see that without even trying to compare the two. That takes up more space in my pocket. This should take up less. And even if I was to carry it around, not in the case, which I'm not sure I'd want to risk, to be honest, there's not much in it. It's not a huge amount in it. It's clearly wider. As you can see there, clearly quite a bit wider. It's about a whole centimetre wider. It's, flipping it the other way, it's about 2 centimetres, maybe a centimetre and a half difference that way. Thickness wise, right, okay, the Miu Mini is definitely a lot thinner, even at its thickest point. But game wise, I think they're both going to be much the same. I mean, screen size wise, they are pretty close. I think that's going to be, let's focus, come on. I don't think I'll be keeping this product that I'm using just now. So sometimes it's great and sometimes it just drops out of focus. I love the Miu Mini. I think the buttons are great. They're nice and quiet. On the 35XX SP, they're really loud. I'll bring this up to my mic just so you can hear. Quite quiet. Quite loud. But I don't have to worry about playing this, someplace where there's maybe going to be noise issues. This is just sitting in the car or, out in public. It's not going to be such a big issue. What I do like about this, and it's a feature that nobody's mentioned, is if you go along to the App Centre, just put that away, there's various things in here. There's a music player, I've not tested that yet, which I might well do since there's an audio jack in the bottom, although I do generally use Bluetooth headset earphones these days. It does have Bluetooth, which is pretty handy. I don't think this guy has it? So that's going to be a little win there. It could do ebooks, wouldn't use it for that. And it can play video. Now, I've put some old retro videos on this because it's a nice aspect ratio to watch, and I thought I'd sit with my son and we could sit and just hold it. It's a bit tiring holding it. You could prop it up on an edge, but then you're at a funny angle. This, on the other hand, is perfect. Fold it up, you've got the perfect angle for watching your content. So as you can see here, I could go across to video, go in there. I put some old classic TV shows from when I was a kid, and 4:3 aspect ratio, so it's going to look perfectly. Good little speaker on it, and I think it'll run pretty well. As you can see, it's brilliant. So I think not just for gaming, but for some old retro TV watching, this is going to be quite a good little device. Especially as you can prop it up on the side of a table and sit with it lying in bed, watching it at an angle, or just even sitting at your desk, you can prop it up. I mean, a lot of people have laboured on the fact that it goes to this angle naturally, and that you can push it beyond and it's down a little bit. But I like the fact that you can push it up slightly and use it like a little portable TV screen. And I might set this up with a little bit of, just get to it now. I like the fact that this has built in, if we just get back to the start, software's a little bit, I don't know, could be a little bit nicer, more polished. But one of the things I do like, and it's not on this main bit of the screen, is if you go into settings, where is it? Is it down the bottom? Is it under network settings? Nope. Oh yes, Moonlight. So I might use this for a little bit of Moonlight streaming, and I could stream all the stuff I've got recorded on my my big gaming PC and watch it back through this. So I might test that out as well. Anyway, this has just kind of been a first initial impression of this device and trying things a little bit different recording wise. I've got myself in a little window here. I'm actually using my Chewy U-Book to record all of this. So at the moment I've got what's called a document camera, and it's supposed to be able to do 4K. Doesn't seem to be 4K. I could do 1080p and not too bad. I'm just trying different things. My idea being that I can share the knowledge that I've learned from doing this stuff with other new channels, people that want to start creating a little presence. Watch this video. If you're interested in this, leave a comment in the comment section below. I might do a separate video on this setup because it's very portable. That's the whole point of this. I can pick it all up, unpack it all, carry it away somewhere else, and sit and do a review. This is the sort of setup I could take if I was reviewing while travelling, for example, and editing footage. So anyway, thanks for watching the video. I was hoping to have a little bit of merch in the video. I've got one little bit of merch here. So I've got the hat, It says Handheld Game Man. It's got the SF2000 on it on this side. I don't know if anyone's interested in that. I've had an idea where I might take the channel members have special badges they can use or special emojis they can use, and I thought about putting each of the emojis on a different hat style so you can purchase your own meme. So I've got about 4 or 5 different emojis that I use just now on the channel. If you were a member, you would be able to access them, but I'm going to put them on hats. I'll try and list them. Quality wise, it's actually pretty good. There's a little bit, because there's quite a lot of embroidery work, you can feel the stitching on the inside, so I think it maybe needs a little bit of wearing in. So before I release them, I'll wear this for a wee while, just make sure it's colour fast and it can stand the test of time. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. Hopefully I'll have something a bit more meaningful later in the week. I might do something different on the 35XX SP if anybody's interested, try some different operating systems. But what can I say about it that hasn't already been said? It's pretty good. But, you know, typical Anbernic, there's always one thing that lets them down, and I think it's the plastics quality, to be honest. That said, hardware-wise, seems okay. I don't think the clicky buttons are such an issue. There is quite easy ways to resolve that from what I've seen online. But yeah, now with this latest firmware, it doesn't actually go to sleep when you close the screen. It's just back where you left it. So I'm not sure how well that's going to last with the battery. But I'll test it a little bit further. I've actually had a thought. I've been wanting to make a little game cabinet, a retro style game cabinet, but a mini one for a long time. And I was going to throw a Raspberry Pi in it, and that would have just been a fit and forget. But this might be quite a good device since it's got the HDMI out and it's got the on-the-go connection. So I could plug a little hub in and connect it all up. And I thought if I made a little cabinet, I can make it quite portable. So if that's something you're interested in, leave a comment in the comment section as well, because it's something I might look into. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Bye for now.